Hello, welcome to the True Crime Never Sleeps podcast. I'm your host, Larry Lease. Today we're diving into the cold case files and looking at the strange deaths of the 9 hikers of Dyatlov Pass. I know I'm probably butchering that. Today's episode is sponsored by Poddex. Poddex is a unique tool to grow your audience, engage with your audience, and increase your download listens. It's a deck of cards you order from poddex.com with a bunch of prompts and questions. This deck is the episode deck. There's others. The one I enjoy the most is called What the Heck. It asks you a bunch of random questions and it gives you a variety of topics to engage with your audience. Check them out, poddex.com. Use promo code TCNS for 10% off your purchase. So let's get on with today's episode of the strange deaths of the 9 hikers of the Dyatlov Pass. It was February 2nd, 1959. A group of skiers died near their camp in Ural Mountains, Russia. The group had been led by Igor Dyatlov and was discovered February 26 by a rescue team. The group had originally been 10 people. However, the 10th man, Yuri Yudin, had left early and was the lone survivor of the trip. He was also brought into the crime scene to identify items of the skiers. 2 of the 9 bodies had been found by the tree line, a mile away from the campsite. Despite temperatures below 30 degrees Celsius, the bodies had been wearing only underwear. 3 other bodies had been found between the tree line and the camp, one with a fractured skull, although this was not their cause of death. The remaining 4 were not found until 2 months later, some sporting a fractured skull, crushed ribs, and one woman with crushed ribs and a missing tongue. These 4 bodies were wearing the clothes of the 2 by the tree line. There were no signs of outward trauma to the bodies, and injuries caused were determined to be too strong for a human to cause. Though there had been no signs of an intruder, the tent had been ripped from the inside. Radiation was also found around the campsite and on clothes the last 4 bodies had been wearing. 6 of the 9 deaths were determined to be from hypothermia. The lack of clothes on the first 2 bodies was the result of paradoxical undressing, which is, quote, a state in which disoriented hypothermia victims remove their clothes due to the feeling of being too hot, close quote. Authorities ultimately determined the cause of death was hypothermia and or, quote, an unknown compelling force, end quote. Soviet officials ordered the lead investigator to close the case, and the group was given a tomb in Nikolaev Cemetery in Yekaterinburg, Russia. So now let's look at the theories. One theory is an avalanche buried the tent. This theory would explain the tent being cut from the inside, deaths by hypothermia, and undressed bodies. However, this theory does not explain the radioactivity nor missing tongue. The second theory was a Soviet missile test caused the deaths, and there was a military cover-up. This theory was actually believed by Yuri Yudin. The doctor on the autopsy team had explained that an explosion could have caused some of the injuries. However, items found by Yuri suggest that the military had perhaps influenced the crime scene. Yudin theorized that the Russian military had possibly found the skiers before the rescue team had, because he could not identify some of the objects, including a cloth of military origin. However, no evidence of an explosion was found, and there were no records of a missile launch. Another theory, the group was killed by a Russian Yeti. Yeah, I'm not big on this theory. It was popularized by a Discovery Channel special titled Russian Yeti, The Killer Lives. Surprise, surprise, there was no evidence of a Yeti. And I don't even know why I'm mentioning this one, but another popular theory is aliens caused the death of the group. Apparently, there were many reports of giant flying spheres in the area of February and March of the same year, Lev Ivanov, lead investigator, was quoted as saying, he suspected at the time and was almost sure now that these bright flying saucer or spheres had a direct connection to the group's death. This theory may also explain the radioactivity of the campsite and inhuman trauma to the bodies. However, there was no evidence of an alien landing at the site. And that is the last theory. Let us know what you think in the comments section below, or send us a tweet at TrueCrimeNS on Twitter. Thank you for listening, and be sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and share this with your friends if you enjoyed the show. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.